Hey everybody, it's Eugene and
Emma.
And we're here to talk to you today about calibrating your grinder for espresso. This is going to be part one of our Espresso Basics series, and it is the easiest way to ensure that your espresso is brewed within the time range of 25 to 30 seconds. The reason why 25 to 30 seconds is important is because any time underneath that or over that is technically under-extracted or over-extracted. As long as you have the grind and the weight correct, 25 to 30 seconds is optimal. So, to get started, we're going to go ahead and talk about the two different things that could be happening on your espresso machine that lets you know that you should be calibrated. Thing number one, your espresso could be coming out too fast. Thing number two, your espresso could be coming out too slow. If either of those are happening, it's a very good sign that you need to calibrate your grinder. To get started, Emma, what do we do if the espresso machine is pulling too fast?
It's pulling too fast. That means your espresso is too coarse. So you want to go ahead and make it a little bit finer so that your espresso will be a little more densely packed within the portafilter and it'll come out a little bit slower. Sometimes you tweak it once, it's not right, and then you keep tweaking it, keep pulling shots and figuring it out.
Yeah. About 2 to 3 times you might have to adjust it. And the other thing that might also be happening is that if it's pulling too fast, you might not have enough coffee going in there.
Yep.
So do make sure to check and see whether or not you have the right weight.
Yep.
If you do choose to make your coffee a finer grind, do be aware that with most grinders, that means that you're going to be getting less coffee out of the grinder because it's not going to be grinding as much coffee within the same amount of time.
Right.
So you will need to adjust how much time it is grinding and to make sure that the weight is matched up.
Yep.
So then what do we do if the espresso is going too slow?
So it's the opposite. So your grind is too fine, so you're gonna wanna adjust it again to be a little bit more coarse. That way the water will go through a little bit faster. There's not as many particles within the puck, so the water goes through just slightly faster.
Just slightly faster.
Slightly.
And then another part of that is, again, same thing. So if you make it coarser, you're going to end up getting more coffee. So you need to find that fine balance between just coarse enough and just enough weight.
Yep.
And then after that, brew it through and enjoy. So one other thing to keep in mind about espresso is that once you've calibrated it once, it does not mean it's going to be set for life. Coffee beans change, the type of coffee you're using changes, the temperature in your house changes, the humidity, literally tons of factors.
The weather even
changes it. It's not going to change it that much. The only time you really need to be concerned is that if you're sitting there and all of a sudden your espresso comes out at 31, most likely you need to recalibrate. If it comes out at 23, recalibrate. If you're at 10, yeah, you definitely need to recalibrate.
Yeah, something's definitely wrong.
Something's definitely wrong. As a quick note, every grinder is a little different. Some grinders like the Set 270i actually measures the weight as it comes out. So the only thing you really need to worry about is how fine or coarse the grind's gonna be. Our Malconic that we have is timed, but does not measure volume. So we do have to go back and forth on that little dance. At the end of the day, calibrating your grinder is a balancing act, and it does require 1 or 2 shots to be pulled before you're in there. But with a lot of practice, you'll be able to know very quickly after the first pull what you need to adjust.
Can I give a little tip?
Yes, you can.
So anytime you do adjust it, allow the grinder to do one more full grind, because those particles that have already been ground are stuck in the burrs and probably still too coarse or too fine. So do a whole other grind, dump it, unfortunately, and then it will most likely come out the way that you're expecting on that second grind.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if you are calibrating espresso and you don't want to throw it away, we absolutely recommend drinking it.
Yeah.
For us here at the shop, if we did that, we'd probably be overly caffeinated and jumping off the wall. So enjoy your coffee. Let us know how this goes. If you have a machine that's particularly complex, please let us know and we'd be happy to work with you.
The Breville Barista Express is particularly complex. Very fun.
Well,
Okay.
guys, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you taking the time to join us to go through our Espresso Series Part 1 about calibrating your grinder. And we hope you join us for Part 2, which will be tamping and distributing.
All right. Thanks so much, you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.